Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is Muhammad Rijal Mustafa bin Rosman, CD150211 from Section 5 in Computer Programming. So today we're going to discuss about calculation of hydrostatic force on horizontal surface plane under a certain condition using C language program. So I'm going to start about the introduction. So the introduction is about the C language the fundamental of C language is a computer programming language, which are language that used in to instruct for a computer to follow. So basically, C language is one of 1,000 programming language, and C language is usually currently being used. So the first programming language C was written down by Garringham and Ritchie, which the book was called the C programming language. So C language has been widespread acceptance because it develops more than the B language, which gives the programmers maximum control and efficiency. The C language is an easy language to learn, although the language is a bit more cryptic than language previously. When you compare the C language with the B language, C language are more efficient. The C language, also known as a compile language, which means that once the C program been written, it must be run through a C compiler to turn the program into a executable so that the computer can execute the program. The C program is a form of a language that human readable form, while the executable that comes out from the compiler is the machine readable. A compiler is a specialized program which converts sources code into another language, which usually machine code, so the machine can be directly understood by the processor. This means that to write and run a C program, the programmer need to access to a C compiler. For example, the programmer need to use a Unix machine. They need to write in a CGI script in C on the Unix computer. So C language is important to study because it is useful, because many languages of programming are based on it. There are many developments on application programs since the start of C language. Most popular of them are C++ language, which is an object-oriented language to develop application program. So Java is one of the example of object-oriented language that improves C++ language. C language is a great success due to simplicity, efficiency, flexibility, and small memory requirement. So C language is a simplicity, efficient, flexibility, and small memory requirement, which have a great portability because of its large result of the fact that compilers and libraries are available from numerous platforms. So to relate our project task, so we need to discuss about the fundamental fluid mechanics on hydrostatic force on a plane surface. So the fluid mechanics usually deals with all kind of fluids under static and dynamic situations. Fluid mechanics is one of the branch of continuous which deals with relationship between forces, motions, and statistical conditions in a continuous material. This study area involves complex problems such as surface tension, fluid static, flow enclosed bodies, and flow round bodies. Flow stability, even the action from a person also involves some of kind fluid mechanics problem. Okay, so the chapter that been chosen in fluid mechanics as our task that we relate with C programming will be the hydrostatic force on horizontal surface plane. Basically, hydrostatic force on the plane surface always related to a surface that submerged in fluid. The forces were developed on the surface because of the fluid. The design of tanks, ships, dams, and other hydraulic structures are important due to the determination of this force. The force must be perpendicular to the surface since there are no shearing stress present on these situations. As you can see, the pressure is variously nearly with the depth when the fluid is not compressible. So the formula that being used is hydrostatic force is equals to pressure times by the area. So the pressure distributed on the bottom of the surface of the tank was linearly. So this is our figure 1.1. The open tank shows that pressure is equal to specific weight times by the height, which the atmospheric pressure acts on both sides of the bottom. The resultant force on the bottom is simply due to the liquid in the tank. So the pressure is constant and uniformly distributed over the bottom, which the resultant force acts through the centroid of the area. So this is our general basic equation, which are force equal to density times by the gravity times by the height and the area. From the equation 1.1 above, the variables that increase the height of the tank of the surface and the value of the density. There are few types of fluids with different density. There were variables that are fixed to a certain value, such as the area of the tank and the height to the surface, but the changes of density will affect the result of hydrostatic force on the plane surface. So this our chapter 2, which we discuss about the problem statements. In fluid mechanics always involves critical problems with different approaches. For this task, the problems when there are in a different condition to calculate hydrostatic force. For this project, the area remains fixed, but with different density which affects the result. In reality, in horizontal plane, surface area of the tanks or any other hydraulic structures can be changed, but due to our limitation in this project, we fix the value of the tanks, but the result will be affected because of the height changes. In the equation 1.1, it will shows the relation between density, gravity, and height and the area of hydraulic structure. In this case, C language will be utilized to acquire the force values at certain condition. All the variables need to be set up in the program to make sure the program runs smoothly and gives the required answer. So this is our objective. The project contains two objectives to achieve. First, we need to write a C program to solve the hydrostatic force, which is related to hydrostatic forces with horizontal surface plane. So second, our objective is we must include a for loops in the C program to obtain the hydrostatic force values that's set by the user. Also, this is our chapter 4, which are the written C language in Dev C++. As you can see, there are float A, which are the float A, integers main, which will become our character is the fluid. The float value for the C language in the C Dev++ was the gravity, area, and forces. So the integer was density and height. So we fix the gravity value at 9.81, and then we need to printf the gravity value and what are type of the fluid. So basically there are four types of fluid: W, G, S, and K. So for the W, we set the density was 1000. Then we need to printf the density value, and there are certain conditions in the height, which height is equal to 5, height is less than 6, and the increment of height is height plus plus. So this is our formula for the forces, equals to density times by the gravity, height, and times by the area, which are the float A as a subject is area. This is an area, so we printf to calculate the force value. So it's usually same as the fluid G, but the density was changed, but the condition of height also remain the same, same as S and K. So this is our C language program from the C++. So secondly, we go for our flowchart. So as you can see, there are start and gravity, then proceed to the type of the fluid. So you can calculate the value of the fluid by input the by the user. So you just type W, shift W, so you can get the value of the density, the forces of hydrostatic force in fluid W, G, S or K, and then it will be N. So for the chapter 5, we need to construct a sample questions, which are when a surface is submerged in a fluid, forces develop on the surface due to the fluid. Find the hydrostatic force in horizontal surface plane with the three types of fluid, with the four types of fluid, fluid W, fluid G, fluid S and K, with a density 1700, 1029 and lastly is 109. The constant area was 19.6375, where the condition height is equals to 5, height is less than 6, height is plus plus. This condition is a C language condition. So to solve this problem, first we need to come up with the general formula of hydrostatic force on horizontal surface plane, which is F times by the is equal to density times gravity times height and times by the area. Second, we need to understand the condition of height is equal to 5, height is less than 6 and height is plus plus. In the C program, the height had an increment of height plus plus, which initial value of the height is 5 and plus plus by increasing plus 1, but the condition must not more than 6, so the condition of the height is remains 5. Third, all the information given into the equations. So basically we know that gravity is fixed 9.81, height was also fixed at 5 meter, although there are increment, but the condition doesn't permit it to proceed. That value is more than 6. So the area also fixed 19.6375, but the density is depends on the fluid. Basically when you use the theoretical part, you will get the answer is 9 for the fluid W, which our density is 1000. These are the value is 963,219.37 kilonewton, which are quite equivalent to our C language that access from our C language program. So the process are repeated for the fluid G, which density is 700, and proceed to the S fluid is 1029, the value of fluid E, and fluid K is 104. So the process are repeated and we get the result are equivalent to the C program, the values that produced by the C program. So this is our conclusion. As a conclusion, this task for the subject of BDA 24202 computer programming, which given by our lecturer Dr. Zaini bin Yunus, have been successfully done because the objective for this project which relate to the fluid mechanics problem with C language. Before the task is conducted, we need to study about the problems of hydrostatic force which related to the submerged horizontal plane. By conducting this task, the students can be able to construct for loops in C program, because the requirement for this task, the student must design for loops program. For the sample question that is stated in the problem statements, the theoretical value need to be calculated and compared with the C program value that generated. So from the values that generated from the C program were equivalent with the theoretical values. During conducted the coding, there are several problems that need to be encountered, but with the help of an assistant from our lecturer, Dr. Zaini bin Yunus, I managed to counter the problems that related to the C program. That's all for my presentation, and thank you very much.